One of the many great philosophers of our time, Jay-Z, once said, I got 99 problems and a bitch ain't one of them. Well, unfortunately for today's protagonist, he does have a lot of problems, and 3 of them happen to be bitches. The Shy Hero and the Assassin Princess is a fantasy anime that came out over the summer, following the exploits of the hero Toto and his party as they take on quests, fight monsters, and become close friends through their trials and tribulations.
Kidding.
The party's cheerleader, Goa, happens to be a master hypnotist known for breaking men and making them her playthings. The priestess Anemone is actually a famous assassin who is anything but a holy woman, and the party's mage, Ciel, is actually the daughter of the demon lord. Each one has a personal goal to reach by taking down Toto. However, they're thwarted not only by interference from the other 2 members of the party, but also by the fact that their target might just be a multiversal variant of Saitama. So in spite of their best efforts, in most cases, Toto is impervious to their onslaught while remaining blissfully unaware of the women right beside him who pose more of a threat than the monsters he faces. And now this is where I say that in spite of the generic fantasy anime skin that this series wears, it actually is a decently fun one to watch. It's got dungeons, a very simple magic system, and not a lot of spectacular world building. But the core part of the show that it sells itself on is enough of a point of entertainment that you can be convinced to overlook those other elements. At the end of the day, this one sells itself as a much less serious story than something like New Saga. So a lot of the finer details don't actually matter a ton as long as the core gimmick of the show is good enough to hold your attention. And I would argue that this is one of those cases. The core gimmick of the girls competing to see who can kill Toto first has enough variance to it to make a bit of a fresh take out of each one of its renditions. And the blunt humor of this series is the real highlight. While there are a few moments of comedy based on the interactions between the girls, the primary part of it is just Toto's insane strength and durability being enough to handle what gets thrown at him with relative ease. And that, of course, begs the question of why Toto got this strong in the first place, and the answer to that is he wanted to talk to women more confidently.
Want to go to the weenie roast with me tonight?
Oh, yeah.
I think you're Marvy.
Well, actually, I'm Johnny. Johnny Bravo.
Yes, in spite of his power, Toto's one major weakness is the same as any Andrew Tate fan: the touch of a woman. And if I had a nickel for every ridiculously overpowered summer anime protagonist who could be one-shotted by the touch of a woman, I'd have 2 nickels. But I used this joke in the last video, so I'm not going to complete it. Anyway, in spite of this dude looking like his theme song is some kind of funk music and also being impervious to anything, Toto struggles in this department, to the point where the girls regularly make physical contact with him just to render him unconscious so that they can get up to their dirty business. And it's this sort of, contrary nature of many of the characters that I think makes the story a little bit more interesting to someone like me. Because that opposite side that they have is something that I feel like adds a little bit more depth to the story. Ciel is the daughter of the Demon King, yet she enjoys sweets, outdoor activities, and yearns for the freedom to live her life. The only reason she's even on this quest to kill Toto is because it's the only way that she can earn said freedom. Anemone is a professional assassin. However, her whole goal is to earn money to build an orphanage to take care of children. The price on Toto's head is a bit too alluring to resist, even if the job is a pain in the rear. And finally, everyone I know's favorite Dami Mommy with the massive personalities may seem like a total man-hating sadist, but deep down she really just wants people to love her, since her innate ability to control people has always made others skeptical of her and want to avoid her. She happens to be the only one around who doesn't really want to kill Toto, but she still wants the man as her pet, so. And while not the most immaculate character arcs, there's enough interesting contrast to them that although they should technically be villains, you can't really count them as evil people. They're endearing and you can empathize with them, at least to some extent. There's also the added part of the girl slowly falling in love with Toto the longer they're around him, but that's something that you can go experience for yourself. Unfortunately, a lot of other elements are kind of lacking. Action and animation really aren't the best in this show, though you can't really make too much of a complaint since that's hardly the focus of it. The story is a bit bare bones in terms of anything outside of the character backgrounds I gave earlier, and the show can be somewhat anachronistic in certain elements, like Anemone summoning modern firearms in this swords and sorcery setting, modern swimsuits for the beach episode, and even a full-on fashion show. Basically, it plays fast and loose with the setting and throws whatever it wants into the mix. But it is otherwise good at what it sets out to do. It's an entertaining and decently unique enough anime to make you want to keep watching. The characters are funny, and there's a generous helping of booba for those of you who are into that kind of thing. For the refreshingly unique take on a typical anime fantasy party, this one has kind of earned my respect. And while it may not be one of my favorites of all time, I'm not opposed to watching more of this show. But that is, of course, all just the thoughts of one pretentious nerd. So if you enjoyed this video, I would ask that you please hit the like button. And if you aren't already, subscribe, because I just hit 1,000 and I want to go further. Do it, or I may just have to resort to stealing your dog.